Good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of Saw Talk Show. And actually, I'm not ready yet, so I'm going to, yeah, I'm live. So I'm going to leave. I'm gonna be back in 5 minutes, but so I'm going to leave this window up. So I'm going to start in 5 minutes. Be right back. Okay. I'm gonna leave this up and hope I'm back. There will be 1,000 people. Okay, so I'll be right back. Let's leave that there. Okay. guys. So anyone here yet? Three people watching. Great. So I'm back, and I got milk, and I'm ready to talk. Great talk. The talk of the century. Hello, guys. So say something in the comment box. And today we're gonna talk about two topics. I have two topics in mind, and one is let's see, let's adjust the windows. So this is milk, okay? Wonderful milk in microwave, and you can see this is what milk, my keyboard, my mouse, fantastic mouse. You see, infinite scroll. You see, and well, milk is my breakfast, kind of my breakfast. Let's see, put it back. Okay, so infinite scroll, like the Infinity War, Avery Kimball. Good morning, Avery. Haven't seen you before. Where you from? I always ask that question. Like what country, what region? I'm gonna talk about two things. I have two things in mind. One is this fantastical, uh, fantastic, uh, you know, fantastic keyboard. Very strange keyboard. Then there is the elegance versus simplicity in coding style. Well, let's just begin. So let's make sure I'm like talking. Like sometimes I'm getting so old, so out of touch that I talk for like 10 minutes and the audio is not on. Okay, so the keyboard. Okay, so Emacs long line problem. Yeah, the Emacs problem, the keyboard, and the coding style, and JavaScript. Okay, three topics. So let's talk about which topic should I go first. Let's talk about keyboard then, because keyboard is like Sali keyboard. Okay, because it is like universal topic among programmers. It is the topic that has the most attraction. So go to Xat keyboard blog. This Ergo Wrap keyboard. You see how advanced, how crazy things has become in the keyboard space. So in the beginning, so as you know, in the beginning, you have the PC keyboards. Now these are idiotic keyboards. Today it's rightful to call them idiotic. They are loved by people who do not touch type. They are loved by second-hand, elite keyboardists. They think they got the greatest keyboard. But they are just like, as we say, they are normies, as some people say. I don't even like that jargon. Okay, normies. Normies means like normal person. Okay, I'm a weird person. You are the weird. You are a weird person. We are weird persons. Okay, so anyway, and so a lot of people love, like the difference of choices between these, PC keyboard. They are all the same. Like they are all the same, but some of them are very expensive, such as this one, the most idiotic among them all, this happy hacking keyboard. This happy hacking keyboard is like $270 USD. Okay, it's the worst among them all. In terms of features, ergonomics, everything. It's including the key switch. That's using the well-known key switch called Topper. TOPA is actually the name of a Japanese company. It's a capacitance keyboard switch, meaning that, well, I'm not going to go into that, about that detail today, but it's based on capacitance switch, meaning that, when you talk about keyboard switch, there are two aspects to it. One aspect is the electronics switch, how the electronics actually makes the contact. That's the electronics switch. Okay, the meaning of switch actually. The other aspect of keyboard switch is kind of, how does it feel to press the key, like tactile, or it's usually called mechanical switch, and that's the aspect most keyboard enthusiasts look for, because that's the aspect you actually care, how it feels, as opposed to how the electronics makes contact. What is the mechanism the electronics makes contact? Because that aspect, although there are good design and bad designs, but ultimately, when you press a key, it needs to make a contact. It's not something of concern. But the more the more sensational, actually literally sensational aspect, is the how the key feels. But anyway, so this one is called Topa Switch, used by Happy Hacking Keyboard, and it's loved by, it's like it has a elite hacker status among, hacker type of programmers, just like Unix, Linux, and Unix philosophy, those sort of things. You have a sense of being elite, like being superior, being more difficult to learn, being more expensive. But it's like crap. Like scientifically, functionally speaking, ergonomically speaking, with respect to science, and and also the price, the product quality divided by price ratio. Hacking is one of the worst possible. There's no, it's not programmable. It doesn't have a lot of keys programmable. I mean, it's not programmable, and it doesn't have a lot of keys. The keys actually are, a number of keys are small, and you don't have thumb keys. So, and the design is bad. Everything. But it's like it's got the elite status among programmers. But anyway, back to the previous topic. So I was saying, uh, among the choices, the PC keyboard and the ergonomic keyboard. In the beginning you have this PC keyboard. Then about 5 years ago, all sort of ergonomic keyboards began to thrive. Like, we are entering digital age, right? AI age right now, the AI era. And in the same way, evolution is happening like everywhere. Okay, I mean, so you can say that the evolution of new era is happening all across. I mean, it's not just like in sciences, because it has consequences. So anyway, in keyboard, community, you can see all these begin to thrive about like 5 years ago. I would say begin with the truly ergonomic keyboard. Actually, you'll find it, ergonomic keyboard history, beginning with this keyboard. Let me show you which one I have right there, but it's buried under a bunch of papers. So it began with this one in 2013. Then you have ergodox. I'm pretty sure you guys heard of it. Ergodox. Okay, I'm gonna show you. Uh, So then you have ergodox. Okay, let's show ergodox then. Ergodox is one of the do-it-self keyboard. So after truly ergonomic keyboard, you have these ergodox. Again, it's one of the keyboard loved by many hackers, because one of the great reasons is because it's open source. Yeah, yeah, we love open source. It must be open source. If it's not open source, it's evil. It's it's killing people. That's what open source wants to think. Open source and free software foundation. The Richard Stallman school sect versus the open source sect. They are different sects and they fight among themselves. So so then after truly ergonomic, then you have ergodox, which began around 2004. Oh, I didn't say when it began. Well, yeah, 2013. 2013, but it's actually after ergodox. Okay, but anyway, ergodox, it's a copy. It's kind of like copy the idea of the let's go to my let's close this. Let's go to my keyboard blog, because local version, because then we can open things faster. So you have, let's see, let's magnify. I mean, not magnify, but um, Tonelli Sora. Good morning, Tonelli. Haven't seen you before. And Tonelli says, well, I may pronounce people's name wrong, but okay. But if you care, just say so. Okay, type like what should it be pronounced. Tonelli says, Topers are the only key switches that have ever really made my fingers sore in use. Okay. Yeah, I don't like topaz switch myself. I haven't actually used it like for, prolonged period of time. I only, tried it. I know I don't like it because I'm not gonna go into detail about that. So anyway, truly ergonomic keyboard. Then okay, some of these ergonomic keyboards are kind of ancient, you might say. For example, this Motron, it began in geez, I didn't say what year they began. It's a flaw in my blogs. I should have mentioned somewhere. But anyway, it began around 1970s. So okay, 1977. There it is, 1977. Then it was copycatted by Kinesis. The original name is Kinesis Contoured Keyboard. Okay, but now it's just Kinesis Advantage. The Kinesis Advantage began in at least 1991. Okay, they copied well, yeah, they basically copied the Motron. Okay, Motron is a company based in UK, United Kingdom. So, and this is, by the way, this is my main keyboard right now. It's great, fantastic. So anyway, you have this bunch of, and so I was saying, since 2013, the ergonomic keyboard community is thriving. You start to have, I mean, I'm not talking about do it yourself, like, the keyboard communities where hackers, they, yeah, also partly because the 3D printing started to thrive, that you can actually print stuff. And so people start to build, it's a era, it's a new era, it's a era, AI era, we are entering into. So so back to what I was saying. So you begin with truly ergonomic, then you begin with several of these commercial ones. These are, I'm not talking about the do it yourself. Which is limited to, essentially a handful of people. Who are programmers or engineers. Mechanical engineers. They do it. Yeah, they create their own design things. But these are commercial, made by companies you can buy, like right now. So since 2013, it began to thrive. You have so many designs. For example, they are all new, like in the past 5 years. This one, Microsoft, this one actually too is new. So you have all these designs. So okay, that's about the thriving of keyboard community. Now, back to previous topic, I was saying, between the PC keyboard, these common shaped ones, and the ergonomic ones, the major difference is that basically for those people who do not touch type, like if you do not touch type, the ergonomic ones will not attract. You will not find the ergonomic ones attractive. That's basically the dividing line. Okay, if you type, I mean, if you do not touch type, and if you never had hand problems, you're gonna love, the PC keyboard. That's vast majority of people. Like, even in the keyboard community, like on Reddit, mechanical keyboard room. Okay, you got all these pictures every day. These silly people. There's no innovation. They post their normal PC keyboard all day. But anyway, once you type, a lot, or you have hand problems, or then you may start to learn. You actually start to, dig into issues like details, science of it. Why do I have hand pain? Because that's when things became serious. uh, or if you type a lot, you don't have hand pain, but also that's when things get serious, because you need efficiency, and so you throw away the common, idiotic advices on the websites. You look into details. That's when you start to look into the ergonomic ones. Usually these are for people who really type a lot or have already hand pain. uh, you know so that's the general dividing, kind of like what kind of people choose which kind of keyboard. So you have the ergonomic ones and the PC ones. So anyway, the ergonomic ones began to thrive around 2013. Then let me show you the bunch of do-it-self designs. So it became incredible. So many of them, like so many variations. Okay, each one has a, typically they have a GitHub. You can go there if you are into, creating your own keyboard. You buy the parts, the electronics, the PCB, the board, the keycaps. You make it yourself, following the instructions. And then people come up with all sort of designs. And typically they follow a certain form. Like, you start to have lots of thumb keys, keys for the thumb. And for example, this one, and many variations. Some people think, ergodox is this is has certain flaws, so they created a variation. They think that they improved it. Different people have different ideas. So you got this bunch of many variations in design. Many of these people I know. For example, the Atrius is one of the famous. The Signum people is by John Trong, I think. We are acquaintances. And the Planck is one of the most idiotic. Planck keyboard. Humble Hacker is one of the earliest do-it-yourself keyboard. It's created by I met him actually one day in a keyboard meetup in San Francisco. This one began in 19 in 2000s, I think, around 2009. Anyway, so these are do-it-yourself keyboards, and some of them are from Japanese keyboard community. For example, this eucalyptus, helix, and I think Benson. I'm not sure. And the Utron is also the Mutron is also from Japan. So you got many varieties, and there are there are levels of craziness with it. Okay, for example, the Planck is the most normal, idiotic, without imagination. They are This Planck keyboard is also very highly popular among the hackers. Uh, by the way, keep the comments coming. Okay, I love to see them. If you have opinions, questions, and comments, just type it. Hello, Victor. So the Planck is actually the worst. Okay, so so you have categories of levels of innovation or creativity or fanciness. So these are the most normal, like, okay. Then you have these fancy ergonomic ones, okay. uh okay. Hey, Tanali, okay. So then then you have more fancier ones, okay. So these are ergonomic fancy ones, but at the extreme end you start to find these ball ball surface kind of ones, like the tactile magnum foam, the colossal. Some of these are incredibly weird and fantastic, fantasticomical. What's that word? I forgot. Um, so then you have this colossum is from Japan. A year ago, like, I mean, it's still active. You can go and buy the parts and build it yourself. Look at these keys. The way thumb keys is going around. Then you have this naive from a guy who contacted me, and this one is still in process or something like that. Uh, then you have, so let's go back. Then you have this key mouse. Okay, this key mouse thing is like keyboard and mouse in combination. So you move the whole thing as a mouse. uh, you know, both hands, or you can use the score uh, ball, trackball on it. So you have these weird fancy ones. And yesterday, I discovered this one, Ergo Warp keyboard. No, I'm not actually sure how this one actually works. Like, how do you put your hands, like, and this looks like a trackball, like, how do you use it, and what are these loops? I haven't looked into detail, like, what what the heck. But I have opinions about these fancy ones. Of course, I have lots of opinions. So and then let's talk about that. I'm gonna tell you what I think about these, and let me read the comments. So hi, so please feel invited to comment on the keyboard.io butterfly keyboard. Thinking of dropping 300 for that. Okay, and now this is going too far. Yeah, this this is crazy, Ergo Rap. But first of all, let me talk about the keyboard.io keyboard. Uh, I haven't used it, so I cannot really give you a good review. I have tried it, just for like few minutes during keyboard meetup. So um, this is created by a Perl guy I know, a Perl programmer. Since Perl is like from the 1990s, so he's a well-known Perl programmer in the Perl community. And I so anyway, so this keyboard, uh, so I haven't really I haven't tried it, so I can't really review it well. But from purely from the design aspect, I think it's very good, excellent design. Okay, uh, so you can read my review. Okay, so let me comment, something about this keyboard. And there's a video of showing people this guy typing on it, and they have their own forums. You can go there and see lots of people who own it, and who they have lots of photos, videos, and they have lots of discussions, comments. Okay, so about this keyboard, so yeah, so I think it's very well designed. Okay, I would recommend it. You know like which one to choose, like some people always, they have a sense, they want to ask you, okay, so which one in your opinion, I want to hear your opinion, which one is the best, like which one is the best, and then don't give me like generic reviews. I want you to tell me which one you think is the best. A lot of people will want to ask me that. But actually, that question, it's dramatic question and cannot be answered because there are lots of variables. I mean, the answer is it really depends on you. Like, do you want it to be portable? I mean, is it, like so many issues. It depends on the person. How big is your hand? I'm an Asian, so maybe you are a white guy or black guy, you have basketball hands, or maybe you are a Asian female, then your hand is even smaller than me, even a centimeter different in length matters, so depends on your hand size, depending on whether you want it portable. Do you prefer it to be very compact, like this, or do you actually love to have, like this one, or this, this kinesis, humongous. Do you care about the curved surface? I mean, does that really matter to you? Some of these questions, like then you can assign a score to how important is each of these questions. So there's no like one absolute answer. And how programmable do you want it to be? Like this one is truly the most programmable of them all. Okay, it's this one. I have this one. I did a review like in my videos. You can see and videos here. If you go to my website, Kasali blog, you can see, you can watch the videos. It's not showing here because I have JavaScript off. So anyway, so this one is the most programmable. If you want the, program keyboard macro more than macros, because all of these, this, wait, these lots of them all support keyboard macros, but there's a difference when you actually go into detail, like what kind of macros or how kind of, I'm not going to talk about that in detail because I do have articles here that goes into detail. And also some of them features driverless programmability, meaning that you don't need, like typically you have to program the keys, you have to fire up, launch a software, and so for example this one, but some of them, for example this one kinesis, you do not need that. You want to program the keys, you just, like right now I can just press the keys and program a macro or swap or remap keys. I don't have to launch a software, and that is just a wonderful feature. It doesn't matter you are on Linux, on Windows, on Mac, whatever operating system you want to, for example today you feel like, swapping a caps lock to something, to alt, or control or whatever, or VI's escape, you can just, like I can just do it now. So that's really a very great feature, and that feature is in kinesis, but however in both of these kinesis, but however it's not in ultimate hacking keyboard. So portability, programmability, how it is the interface to program the keyboard, whether it's open source, for example keyboardio ultimate hacking is open source, but the others are not. So all this is a question you want to ask, yourself, how important it is to you. So there's no one answer about which one is the most, the best. And also this S rail, this one is $500, 550, something like that, $500, and you have to. It's from Japan, okay, and they also have, just English versions, but it's $500. Is that worth it? So it's up to you. And this Motron is also $500. Uh, so if you want to factor in the price, then that also makes a, really big difference, because this Microsoft scoped, it's not programmable, and it's, but it's only $70. You can buy it. You don't like it, throw it away. And it's pretty good design. Um, so if you fact and also this expo. Now, if you don't care about tenting, which is have your hands like that, like instead of flat. If you don't care about that, then you can go for the expo, which I also have, which is also excellent. It's also programmable. Um, yeah, so that's But if you do care about tenting, then maybe you want to go for this Misto Barocco, which is also not very expensive, 150, something like that. Okay, check out. By the way, if you like my review, you buy them on my Amazon link. Okay, support me. So anyway, so they are all these features you really have to look for yourself. Okay, and okay, about keyboard I/O, I do have one complaint. In general, the what I like about keyboard is like I want them to be efficient and also in the sense of being economic, like economic in the sense of can be mass produced and not elaborate, not baroque, not highly decorated. I don't like those things. For example, for comparison, cars, Honda Civic, which is a cheap car, mass produced, and compared to let's say Lamborghini. Okay, Lamborghini is this extremely fancy car. Now, which one is efficient? Well, depends on what you mean by efficiency. Obviously Lamborghini is not efficient in many ways. It eats gas. It cannot be mass produced. It's expensive to produce, and it's expensive to maintain, and it's not actually practical. On the other hand, Honda Civic, it's cheap, it's well made, it's well designed, it runs, it's practical. So of course, if you have money, or I mean, even if you look at these two cars, and if you forget about price, forget about how they can be mass produced. If you only look at for example, the advancement of the engineering, the engine, the power, the horsepower, the speed, and all that, you know, obviously Lamborghini is the better one, but that's if you ignore the price and all the other issues. So in general, I don't like those Lamborghini, those too fancy and elaborate and specific kind of design as far as engineering concerned is concerned. I'm a nerd, right? I'm a programmer, so I'm concerned about engineering, but I'm also concerned about efficiency in many aspects. I want the most elegant design. But meanwhile, it must be also the most simple that can have effect on huge scale. So in other words, if you look at the world, the human wellness, affairs, obviously the Honda Civic makes a huge more impact to the welfare of humanity than the Lamborghini. So that's one point of view. Okay, but it's not to say I don't care about design. No, I want the most elegant and best design and most efficiency as well. But anyway, another aspect to another analogy is look at all those baroque buildings. Let me show you some of the uh, let me give you another analogy about different aspect of design. Okay, I got that's a sculpture in China from 1970s, 1700s, Ming Dynasty. That's a sculpture. Anyway, so I want to go to architecture. So let me give you some examples of design, about judgment of elegance, about the choices, about judgment of aesthetics. Like we are talking about how to choose a keyboard, but in relation, let me talk about how do you judge? What is efficient? What does efficiency mean? What does beauty aesthetic mean? Okay, so one aspect is, you see, these old churches, they are extremely expensive to build and elaborate. Look at the ceilings, incredible ceilings and every detail. You see the windows, so those, so this is also beautiful, and but it's very elaborate. The word is baroque. It kind of like one of the word to describe it. And also like the grandfather clock, it's a wooden, it's carved, it's carved by well-known sculptors. Some of the grandfather clocks, it's very intricate, built by the most talented craftsmen. So you got grandfather clock compared to a digital clock, $5 cheap digital clock. So anyway, so one aspect is this baroque design and expensive. On the other hand, on the other extreme, you have the most modern, like technological thing. These domes, for example, they are very cheap to build, and they are also beautiful. You know, these domes, and some of them, obviously, some of them are not practical, but some of them are. This one is this one is actually a high school in USA. Um, but I'm giving you some examples. I mean, you get the idea. It's like this one is modern buildings. They are not. They are also beautiful compared to the old Asian churches, and but they are like very kind of efficient and minimal, and so in general, okay, just in general, I like them all because they are art, but I like I kind of prefer the technological ones, the efficient, minimal, and can be mass produced. Okay, so that's about that. Now, so let's go back to keyboard. Okay, so about the keyboard I/O, I think it's very well designed, and but in the beginning, it took them a long time to make it. Took them like 3 years. Let's see, am I still alive? Yes, yes. Okay, keep the comments coming. Okay, so I think it's well designed, but it turns out the guy, he, in the beginning, I thought it's gonna be mass produced, very great design for all the people, but it turns out they went into this rather baroque approach, like luxury item. So they, yeah, it's well designed. They pay attention to every detail, every details of it. Uh, but they turns out, the design, they kind of the direction of design. They went into this elaborate, not for the masses, this elaborate design. And for example, look at their, look at their, uh, the legs for the keyboard. They came up with this elaborate octo feet. Octo feet, so this thing is like this, you got this largish sized keyboard, and it's made of wood. I don't like, I don't like made of wood, so it's made of wood. And so that means they, it's more expensive to produce. If you read their blog, this, he also write a lot blog in their process of creating this keyboard and company. How they go to China, they have to get factories to make it. The stories, and it turns out actually they got cheated by one of the person, a female, a girl, a woman. They, who cheated their money like tens of $1,000s. But anyway, so anyway, they, so the keyboard I/O went into this elaborate design, and this keyboard legs. They came up. Like it's like they studied all ways to create keyboard legs, and eventually they decided they want this octo feet. And to me, I don't like it. Okay, as a direction of aesthetics. I mean, this is like it's not it's not practical. I mean, you got this huge thing, attached to the bottom. And by the way, it's also the way it works is that so you got this huge static block, like it's like a brick, okay, and you put it on a desk. On the top, it's like slanted. It's a slope. Look at this picture, okay. So it's sloped. Then you put a screw into the keyboard. So when the keyboard is attached to it, the keyboard will be slanted like a slope. Uh, that's how it is, inclined. So by this design, you cannot actually adjust the inclination, um, you know, and it's not. You cannot also this orientation, basically you cannot adjust it, and so to me that's not optimal design, as far as the science, the art of design goes. It's not optimal, but somehow to them, you know they decided this is the best for stability, for whatever. They decided this is I mean, they too, they look at every aspect of design, and they end up with this. So but I don't think this is the great design as far as design goes, but overall the product, I think is good. So that's all I have to say, about the keyboard IO. Okay, I kind of actually talked a lot about the keyboard topic, but originally I want to talk about this. There's actually one more thing I want to talk about. Let's see, keyboard, fun keyboard, do it yourself. This ergo okay, ergo keyboard. Now I want to talk about. There's an issue about this going crazy. Okay, there's a actual issue. Let me read the comments. Victor says it looks cool but not practical. Having glue in your design isn't practical. The keyboard I/O, I don't think you need to glue. I mean, there's no glue, right? I mean, I don't. Yeah. So I mean, you don't have. I mean, you don't have to glue it. It's just a screw, right? Yeah. But uh, I mean, you probably do not mean you have to glue. I mean, maybe you meant that, the fact that you have to screw them. Oh, the feet are glued up. Oh, okay. So let's see, where is it? Do it. Fun keyboards. Yeah, I suppose so. I guess it's where is it? Wait. Ergonomic keyboard. Keyboard I/O. Yeah, so I guess you are right. They require. Yeah, I mean, so they went into the elaborate design. Uh, I mean, it's not simple. I prefer things that the design. I prefer design that are simple. So they didn't choose that route. But anyway, let's go back to the Ergo Warp. Okay, now this is getting too crazy. Okay, many of these designs now for the curved surface, that's already getting into kind of fancy, which I actually use. But I think this is great. Actually, I love the tactile. I do not have tactile, but I tried it for 5 minutes, and to me, and my hand size, it's actually the best. Okay, I find the tactile more comfortable than the truly, I mean, the kinesis I'm using right now. So tactile is a great one. Okay, so tactile is a great one. Now some of these designs, they become so fancy. Okay, the Ergo Warp is an example. By the way, And so when you go into this degree, actually I don't think you come to a point, you are crossing a boundary. Okay, you are crossing a line. You are crossing a line such that I think there are alternative, entirely different designs. That's not keyboard. Okay, that's much more efficient. Okay. By the way, it's not easy to learn these things. As you know, I mean, even for the curved surface, it will take you 1 month to adjust your muscle memory to actually type on these. So for vast majority of people, notice that vast majority, they don't even care for split. They are just happy with this normal PC keyboard. If you go to the Reddit, you know mechanical keyboard forum room, the vast majority, they are just happy with these PC normal keyboards. Then you go up next level, you have these, which is, if you have hand pen, which is still, good, which is works great, all these. Then you get into the next level, the this extreme, and also the key mouse. Okay. um, I think they are crossing a boundary where it's not actually, you will take a month or to adjust your, to learn to use it. And but also at that level, okay, I think there are much more better alternatives. let me show you Let me show you the few examples of coded keyboard. Okay, because I have studied them. I have studied all these keyboard. So coded keyboard, there are a lot of variations, and also there's another one you probably heard of. Like, anyway, coded keyboard, which is entirely different level. Okay, because at this point, you are not just pressing keys. You press codes, and in fact, coding keyboard is actually one magnitude more efficient than all of these non-coded keyboard. So, and over the past 30 years, there are many designs for coded keyboard. Some of them are commercial, for example this one, but they are failures. They never made it. They never became popular. Then the company closed down. So anyway, I was saying, so when you go into this level of craziness, you are crossing a line, because they are quite you are crossing a boundary into the different input systems, such as coded keyboard. Those are a magnitude more efficient than these. Okay, truly. Okay, they are a magnitude more efficient, meaning you type 200 words per minute, you know or beyond. And it's also easier for your hands as well. But of course, depends on which one is the design. This one is no good. Okay, and then you have the steno type machine, which is also a coded keyboard. uh, so you could buy these, this machine, because they are a niche market, so they cost like $1,000 $2,000. But if you actually go spend a month, you buy these, you spend a month or 2 months to master it, you'll be far more efficient, like a magnitude, like twice as fast as you type, or more comfort, than any of these fancy ergonomic ones. Okay, that's then there's a stenotype, but that's not it. Okay, then there's the historical. This one is still in use. There's a piano keyboard. Okay, I'm gonna show you some examples. For example, this one, if actually you actually use a piano keyboard to type, and there's this researcher who created this called piano keys. It will work. You will. Let me go to the YouTube so you can see. Okay, for example, she has a video showing you actually using a piano to type text, and you can read the PDF. You can learn it. So you spend you you spend like $300 or something to buy a piano keyboard or a controller. Then you spend like 2 or 3 months to learn, excuse me, the piano input system. And in my opinion, okay, I have studied them, but not actually. I have not actually learned the piano key system. But from my study about input systems, fingering efficiency, in my judgment, this will be far more efficient. Anything coded is one magnitude more efficient than the sequential key input. Okay, so if so spend $500 to buy a really good quality, uh, the so-called these are called uh, MIDI devices. They are called controllers. Okay, in the music in the industry, they are called MIDI controllers. Anyway, you buy a piano keyboard. 300 is a good one. Okay, or 200 uh, dollars. Hold on a second. Huh? Huh? Hold on a second. There's something knocking the. Sorry. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. My roommate is back, and she just knocked on my door for fun. Shit. So but I was talking about this. So yeah, so you spend like $300 to get a really quality um, MIDI controller. Let's see, am I doing good, guys? Comment. Okay, so you spend $300 to get a really good MIDI controller. Okay, like these. It must be good because piano keys, just like computer keyboard keys, the tactile sensation is matters greatly, just like mechanical keyboard. Like it matters significantly. So you want to get a good, you know, like $300. Get yourself a good MIDI controller. That's so-called MIDI controller. Okay, then you spend 2 months to learn the piano key system. Uh, your type a magnitude better. But I mean, all these things got problems because then, are you going to put the piano at your work? You're gonna have that issue. It's gonna be weird, and then you have to look into portability issues. For example, that is too big, you cannot carry it around. Then you have to look into maybe buy these smaller ones. You know, uh, but that's research. You have to start to do research. So but if you are truly interested in keyboard efficiency, on the input system design, uh, like this guy, ergo warp, forget about this ergo warp. You want to you want to get into this, you want to jump beyond the sequential keys. This is actually far more efficient, and for the same energy, the guy who built this, maybe he spent a year to study, design it. It's wasted. Okay, it's relatively it's wasted. You want to spend that year investing in this piano keyboard because, in my opinion, it's just going to blow away the sequential systems. By the way, it also, with this system, you can also do Control C, Control X shortcuts. You can. You just have to. It's just part of the research. So you have this piano key, then you have this one. This one is, by the way, there's a kind of a niche community who are using this. Very efficient. There are different input systems people have designed. Again, it's a coded keyboard. You know, so at the point, so my point here is, when you are at a level, when you spend this much time to create this kind of crazy keyboard, in my opinion, it's not, it's inefficient, it's wasted. So I think that actually that covers what I want to say, concludes the topics about this ergo whoop keyboard. um, you can read, so I have these articles, you can read the details why they are efficient, and so on. By the way, to if you are using a for example, piano keyboard, or if you are using a stenotype, by the way, they do not actually require you to spend more time to learn than these, because actually touch typing itself, it takes a long time to learn. Because for example, this girl who created this piano, what's her name, she's got a name, piano key, I think, piano text. Okay, she created this piano text. She's a researcher in input systems. So she has research into study, compared to how long does it take to learn this piano text system, compared to how long does it take to learn a normal touch typing on a normal PC keyboard. And so the time spent, is the piano text system is not greater. It's actually not greater than the than touch typing. This may sound surprising to us, because it's really because habit. Because we are all used to the keyboard, so we are accustomed to it. So we think touch typing is no big deal. We can type so, but actually it really took us, I've been typing for like more than for 30 years actually. Literally, I have been touch typing since 1987. 30 years of practice. So, and so it's actually not takes more time. The only difference is it's just like it's new. So like everything, when we perceive things, everything we judge, huge part of it is because habit. It's like if you go to a different country and start to live in China, for example, you will begin to have a culture shock, so-called culture shock, because people do things differently than you. They think differently. Then you have to spend a few weeks to learn chopsticks, or all that. So anyway, so that's that. So I think that concludes that topics. And so I have been talking for over an hour now. Yeah, I kind of actually talked about a lot about keyboard, and I think maybe that's it for today. So today's topic is just about keyboard. So comment. This is a good time to comment. So any other questions? I'm gonna read the comments. Okay. So any questions or any other topics you want me to go into? Actually, I want to. Yeah. So comment. Okay. Let me know. Yeah, there are a few things I want to talk about as well, but yeah, maybe I'll save it. I'll save it next time. But I think tonight, I'm gonna do another South Talk show. I think it's better where each talk show I discuss just one topic. So any questions? Come on, guys. 5 people watching. So let me read the comments. So have you tried using stenograph? No. I saw some guys on YouTube who used it to write programs. It seems fast and efficient, but it's probably very hard to use. No, I haven't used it, but actually, my opinion of that is I do not recommend it. Okay, I do not recommend it. Here's the thing. Let me show you why. Now, if you are going to learn stenotype, and if you are using steno machine, I recommend it. I highly recommend it. Do it. You know, spend 1,000 or 2,000 to buy the steno machine, okay, and start to use it. Research. Learn it. Spend 1 month to learn and research it. Learn it and use it so that you can use it to program. For programming and whatever you write. I I do recommend steno machine. But however, when people talk about these keyboard enthusiasts, the keyboard fans, when they are talking about steno machine, they are not talking about buying a steno machine. They are talking about uh, do it yourself. They are talking about using a normal keyboard, like a normal computer keyboard, to do stenograph. Like they are talking about this using a plank keyboard. Let me show you videos. Like there are people doing it. Okay, there's this woman who created this stenograph system called Plover. Okay, so Plover is a stenograph system, but designed to be used with a normal PC keyboard. Like, she's got a video here, and she's typing 170 words per minute with it. So, she's starting this movement to use normal computer keyboard, including PC keyboard, as a stenograph machine. No, that's no good. That's idiotic. Okay, that's the worst idea. Okay. Now the steno machine. The idea of using a steno machine is that, I mean, the gist. Okay, why is it efficient? Two reasons. One, it's using a phonetic based input system. You are not actually typing letters by letter. You are typing how the word sounds. So you type the phonetic, and it words. For example, words is two phonemes. Words. So you just type one key, kind of one code, instead of WORDS. Five keys. So one reason steno machine and with stenograph system is efficient, because you are using a phonetic system. You don't actually type all the letters. The other reason is because the coded keyboard, and the keyboard is designed. This is important. It's designed for you to press multiple keys at once, not like Control V, like you hold down Control, press V, release Control in that order. Not like that. You press any key simultaneously, okay, and the keys are big and positioned and shaped in such a way you can easily press multiple of them at the same time, in both hands. That is why steno machine and with a stenograph input system is a magnitude more efficient. But when people, when programmer idiots, when these elite hacker groups or your hacker, when they talk about steno, they are talking about using the steno with plank, keyboard. It's idiotic. This is the most this is the fastest way to get you into repetitive strain injury. Okay, do this, you'll get hand pain. In a few months, guaranteed. Depending on how much you type. If you are an average programmer, you don't really type that much. This works fine. Like most programmers looking at this, they think, oh, this works. This is so great. Whoa, whoa, wow. But as soon as you actually type non-stop for, let's say, 2 hours a day, non-stop, you're gonna get repetitive strain injury, very fast, in a few months, in half a year. Then you're gonna go see a doctor. Then doctor's gonna tell you, stop typing now, or you're gonna never be be able to type again. you're gonna they're gonna cut off your hands. Yeah, do that. Stenograph. Don't do that. Okay, so don't. So that's my opinion about these. About this plover. No good. Uh, So how are stenographs for programming something non-Lisp like C? Are there any people that use? Yeah, there are some people. I've known some people actually. I know some people do this. For example, she is one of the example. Okay, she's not a programmer, but I think she learned part of it. You can, well, you can. I mean, there's a Plover forum. Okay, there's a website. I think I have a link here somewhere. You can like, you can go to their website. They have discussions. You can learn about it. But personally, I know an acquaintance or a friend. Who does use. Let me show you. Let me talk about that. PC keyboard, Ergo keyboard, the keyboard IO. Okay, now keyboard IO has a great software and also it's open source uh, for programming the firmware. And I kind of know the guy. He's a acquaintance friend. He's a great guy, and he's in Germany, and he has a Mastodon account. He's active there, and so he wrote the software for open source for the keyboard IO, and it's also one of the greatest programmable firmware software. Okay, it's called Kaleido something. Okay, okay. Here I talked about it. So, but anyway, the guy who wrote, who is part of the team, or I think it's a main guy who wrote this. So that's a guy I know. He kaleidoscope. Okay, he has so many links. I'm not sure which one is it. But anyway, his name is Argeron. His nickname, his online handle is something like Argeron. I don't know how to you. Well, if you look, you'll find it. Okay, his online handle is Argeron, and his profile photo is kind of a mouse head with wearing glasses and typing, a mouse like cat and mouse, a mouse head. That's his online profile photo. But he's a German guy, I believe. So anyway, he has learned the Planck system, and using the keyboard I/O. He's a developer for keyboard I/O, and he loves keyboard I/O. So and he has a blog. He has written about. I remember reading his. He like it. But yeah, Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, so I think I'm going to do another one later today, maybe in 6 hours. So yeah, we'll see. That's the way I goes. I'm not never. Things are not planned. So, but I'm thinking maybe I'll do another one in 6 hours. So thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys. If you like my stuff, put money in my pocket. Okay, I got Patreon. I got I got Patreon and PayPal and stuff, and it's all over my website. The links, Amazon gives and links, and buy stuff from my website. Thank you guys. I see you next time. Peace and prosper.